What comes in your mind when you think of any detective? James Bond. Even Sherlock Holmes, who is a fictional private detective in many well-known novels? How the detective should look? Fit, strong, energetic like a hero, or you can say the man of action. Then what is the goal of the detective? Simply put, is to right wrongs by uncovering facts, right? Hello, my friend, this is Yasmin, and today we'll be discussing the story The Midnight Visitor from the book Footprints Without Feet, Class 10. The entire text will be appearing on the screen with meanings of all the difficult words. So let's get started. Robert Arthur was a prolific writer and editor for almost 40 years before the first three investigative book was published in 1964. Two of his earlier stories, Seashore's Visit to the Moon and The Sad Tale of Willie, were published in the 1926 Hampton, Virginia yearbook. During his final year of high school, Robert Arthur submitted hundreds of short stories to the many pulp magazines which flourished in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. Many of these magazines are now quite difficult to find and they are often expensive. Thus, most of these stories are unknown to today's readers. Robert Arthur worked primarily in radio throughout the 1940s and into the early 1950s, writing hundreds of scripts. In 1959, he moved to Hollywood to try his hand at writing screenplays for television programs. Let's discuss the characters. There are three main characters in the story. Fowler, he is a very young writer. He wrote books related to the romantic aspect of life. Shifting from this genre, he wanted to write a book on the detectives. He assumed a detective to be surrounded by equipment related to the field. For his astonishment, when he met Ausable, he felt very devastated. Ausable, Ausable is the protagonist of the story, the Midnight Visitor. He is a secret agent, but his appearance did not match his professions. He was very sharp and had a quick and witty mind to escape any situation with his self-confidence. He was a short and fat man who was quite lazy too. Max Max is another secret agent who was a slender man, not very tall. His features suggested that he was slightly crafty and cunning like that of a fox. He did not seem very dangerous other than the fact that he was holding a gun. Max lacked the presence of mind, he just blindly believed Ausable. Max proved that he could be easily fooled. This did not make him a very good secret agent. Before we begin, let's discuss a few things about the story. The story revolves around three characters, two rival spies named Ausable and Max, and one mystery writer Fowler. Ausable is a chubby, lethargic, messy, and clumsy man, while Max is slender and rugged. The story is a short but intriguing insight into the life of a spy, which may not be as glamorous as we see in the movies, but still full of danger and suspense. In the first paragraph, Fowler, who was a writer by profession in the story, and this time he switched his genre by writing about detectives and their lives. When he met a secret agent named Ausable, was surprised because Ausable did not look like a secret agent at all. Then he was following Ausable to his room through a smelly and a bit scary corridor. His room was on the top floor, which was on the sixth floor of the hotel. Ausable was a very fat man and seemed very lazy. His accent was like an American, although he had been living in Paris for the last 20 years and could speak a bit of French and German. Then Ausable asked Fowler that why did he look so disappointed, and also asked that was he told that he was going to meet a secret agent like him, a spy agent who has been dealing with danger, crime scenes and drugs and all. But Fowler again looked surprised to see a physical appearance like Ausable. He cannot believe that Ausable is a detective. Fowler had to spend the entire evening in a music hall with an old, poorly dressed, extremely fat man who used traditional methods for making the information travel. It was not an interesting move by Ausable. Ausable then smiled and said that Fowler was bored with him. As soon as Ausable opened the door of his room, he asked Fowler to enter into the room. Then Oswald told Fowler that he had been thinking all wrong and the best part was yet to come, as they would soon be coming across a paper for which a lot of men and women had risked their lives, and that report was very important. So here in this paragraph he was talking about some important report here. After saying this, Oswald closed the door behind him and turned on the lights. As soon as the light was turned on, Fowler experienced his first thrill of visiting a secret agent as he saw another man in the room standing with a gun. Oswald recognized the man as Max and asked him what was he doing in his room. He was supposed to be in Berlin. Max was thin, a bit short, and his face looked like a cunning fox, but he seemed harmless, not dangerous, except the gun which he was holding. Max said that he wanted that report about the missiles for which Oswald was waiting for, and then Max said again that report would be safe in his hand, then Oswald. Now in this paragraph it is to be said to create humor, as he just wanted the reports for his own benefit. Oswald sat down on a chair and started speaking that he would definitely have a fight with the management of the hotel, as this was the second time that someone had climbed up from the balcony of the room. Then Fowler looked towards the window and saw that it was an ordinary window and that was pretty much dark outside. Then Max said that he came through the master key and he did not know about the balcony. Then again he said that if he had known about the balcony, then it would be easier for him to enter and he would have not stolen the master key. Then Oswald got irritated and said that it was not his balcony through which people had tried coming in, but was of the next apartment. He then started explaining things that he had complained to the management about the balcony window several times and said that somebody did climb up the balcony last month also. He also told Fowler that the management had told him that they would surely get it blocked, but they still hadn't done so. Max looked at Fowler, who was standing near Oswald. Max asked Fowler to sit down as there was still half an hour for the report to reach Oswald. Oswald joked that it was not 30 minutes but 31 minutes that were left for the report to reach them. The report was supposed to come in around 12:30 at night. Oswald said that he wished to know that how he had come to know about the report coming in. Max smiled wickedly and said that he also wished to know how Oswald and his team had got the report. He added that nothing had happened to the report because he would take it from Oswald straight to his team. Then suddenly a knock is heard on the door, and Max panics. Fowler is also scared by the knock on the door. Oswald replied to Max's questions about who was on the door that it must be the police because he had asked them to check on him after some time, as he thought that the report he was about to receive was very important and definitely required extra attention and security. He had asked the police to visit him after every intervals to ensure that everything was all right. Max became nervous about the situation as the knocking continued, and Oswald asked him what would he do next. Oswald added that the door was unlocked and if he did not let him open the door, the police would enter anyway and would definitely shoot if they saw him with a gun. Max was angered by the situation and ran quickly. The knocking on the door grew louder, and someone from outside called for Mr. Oswald twice. Max was sitting on the windowsill and was facing inside so that his gun could be still pointed towards Mr. Oswald and Fowler. Max then held the windowsill and sat at the sill with both legs outside. The door knob turned and Max thought that the police would be coming in, so he jumped from the sill to fall on the balcony, and when he fell, a loud and shrill scream was heard. When the door opened, a waiter stood at the door with a tray, a bottle of wine and two glasses. He came in and kept everything on the table and said that it was the bottle that Oswald had ordered for. He opened the cork of the bottle skillfully and left. Fowler did not understand what had happened and stammered that where was the police? To which Ausable replied that there was no police and that he knew that it was Henry, the waiter, and he was expecting him only. Then again Fowler asks about the man, Max, outside the window, to which Ausable replied that he would never come back now, as there was no balcony, and the Max had fallen on the ground from the top floor of the building. So my friends, basically the story highlights the theme that wisdom is more powerful than other weapons. Ausable's intelligence is highlighted in the story. It is also based on the theme that one should not judge a person by merely his appearance. Ausable is fat and lazy, but he is the most intelligent of all in the story. Let's have the summary. Fowler is surprised to see a secret agent Ausable who is too fat to be a secret agent. Ausable tells him that he was going to get an important paper for which many men have risked their lives. When both of them reach Ausable's room, Fowler is scared to see a man standing in the room. Max, who is tall and thin man and is holding an automatic pistol in his hand. He had entered his room by using a key to take the report concerning a new missile. Ausable, sensing the danger, fabricated a story about a non-existing balcony which Max believed to be true. Ausable complained that it was due to the balcony that somebody had entered his room the second time. After some time there was knocking at the door. Ausable again befooled Max by saying that it was the police who wanted to come inside to provide him protection. Max wanted to run away to avoid the police and jumps to his death into that non-existent balcony. So this is all for today my friends. I'll see you again with another topic. Till then take care and do subscribe my channel for further notifications. Bye bye.